Hi guys. Sorry these look so dark. It's really not that dark in here. I don't know, my phone doesn't really apparently like the lighting here. But tonight I'm going to share with you guys just a little bit more about who the Bible says Jesus is. And this is actually my favorite story in the Bible. Tonight we're going to go through, it's Mark 5, Mark 5:21. And I think there's a different version of this in a couple of the other Gospels, but we're just going to use the one in Mark tonight. And we'll start and then I'll explain to you why it's my favorite. Mark 5:21 says, "When Jesus had again crossed over by boat to the other side of the lake, a large crowd gathered around him while he was by the lake. Then one of the synagogue leaders named Jairus came, and when he saw Jesus, he fell at his feet. He pleaded earnestly with him. 'My little daughter is dying. Please come and put your hands on her so that she will be healed and live.'" Jesus had a reputation at this point for healing, and so a lot of people came to him and asked for their loved ones to be healed. And it says, "So Jesus went with him. A large crowd followed and pressed around him. And a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. She had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and had spent all she had, yet instead of getting better, she grew worse. When she heard about Jesus, she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloak, because she thought, 'If I just touch his clothes, I will be healed.' Immediately her bleeding stopped, and she felt in her body that she was freed from her suffering. At once Jesus realized the power had gone out from him. He turned around in the crowd and asked, 'Who touched my clothes?' 'You see the people crowding around you,' his disciples answered, 'and yet you can ask, "Who touched me?"' But Jesus kept looking around to see who had done it. Then the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came and fell at his feet, and trembling with fear, told him the whole truth. He said to her, 'Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering.'" And I don't know if you guys have heard this story before, but this one's my favorite because of the fact that it just shows me a lot about who Jesus is, that Jesus was with Jairus, who was this really important synagogue leader. And instead of telling this woman that he didn't have time for her, he stopped and he just wanted to hear her story. The fact that she had been bleeding for 12 years and tried so many different methods for healing for it means that a lot of people probably had written her off by this point. We're like, "Okay, lady, let's stop talking about your bleeding. Like, we get it. Just get over it, you know?" Maybe they weren't that harsh, but that's just kind of how I imagine it to be. And Jesus just stopped and he wanted to know her. He wanted to just let her know that he saw her. Even in the midst of him being busy with the synagogue leader, even in the midst of him going somewhere else, he saw her and he stopped. And he really just took the time. And to me, quality time is one of my love languages, and time just means so much to me. So when people take the time to just stop rushing around and really sit and just want to know you and want to just love you, to me that's just like such a beautiful picture of love, and that's why that's my favorite story. I really love y'all. I hope that you guys are having a great night and that you are gonna get to spend some time with your families over this holiday weekend. Alrighty, have a great night. Bye.